Hello guys, this is Atari here, and today I'm doing another video, and I'm sorry I haven't posted one in about a month, but I haven't been getting that much traffic per se. But luckily now, I have some videos that have been up before. I'm getting some likes, dislike ratios, but of course people will hate. A lot of people don't agree with things, and that's generally because the way the fan base is. Some people either agree with your scaling, and some people just disagree, either because A, they don't understand it, B, they just can't get their head around it, or C, different headcanons that just differ. But be that as it may, I'm just doing this video in regards to the Dragon Ball verse. I was going to make this a two-part series originally, but I think I have, the articulation to condense this into like a quick 9-minute video or however long it'll be. But let's just get on to it. Alright guys, so basically the Dragon Ball verse is kind of simple. It is made up of the living world, for example Universe 7. It's made up of 12 universes and has a world called the World of Nothing, as a void. The Dragon Ball universe has different parallel realities. So far we have confirmation that there are about 4, if I recall. There is one that is, I guess, obsolete now because this is the one Cell killed Trunks in and took the time machine. Then the second parallel reality is the one where we have Future Trunks' timeline. We call it Future Trunks, but it's really more of a parallel universe. Then we have one with the main timeline, and then we have the previous timeline where, Black came from, But these are the different parallels, and we get confirmation from Boma that these different parallel worlds, they're actually parallel worlds, because for one, time for the essence of, let's just say time in Boma's, or the main timeline, one day there is one day in Trunks's, meaning their timeline, their time themselves are synced, but they're just on different thresholds of history, so they're completely separate. Because as again, they said, why don't we just go back in the past before Black showed up or before anyone else showed up and just beat them, and it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. These are parallel worlds, and you can't change the coordinates of the time machine otherwise, whatever. But I love the manga because it basically explains what happened to Zamasu. When Zamasu got erased from existence, all traces of him throughout the history was destroyed, as according to Beerus, if he's in the future, he should be dead too. Because gods seem to be more of a, I want to say, fourth dimensional being in terms of existing throughout history. But you guys get my point. If I killed Goku there, I could still go in the past and meet Goku, but that would be in the parallel universe. But basically for a god character, no, it doesn't matter, you're just dead. But why didn't Zamasu get erased? Well, because one, he was in a different body, so he had a different soul. His soul was the same, but he had different essence of his body and spirit per se. You can argue that. And then the second reason was because Zamasu was also from another parallel. Because this parallel Zamasu isn't this parallel Zamasu. So that is one case of the matter, and I like how the manga kind of went into explanation for this. Now, of course, the manga and anime are different, but for the sake of expediency, I'm going to be comparing these two so we don't have any more plot holes, I guess. And so Zamasu lived because A, Beerus killed a different Zamasu, and B, like, the Zamasu is just from another different parallel universe or world. And same with this one. He's from the present timeline. So because of that, we now know that, gods can exist on different planes of reality and history. But next, about regarding the universes, so now that we understand, all right, 12 universes, all are macrocosmic in size, and the living world, at least as far as the living world goes, it has infinite amounts of galaxies, or just an uncountable number. Just the number so high, it's definitely above 100 billion, it's definitely above 100 trillion, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we don't have a specific number, so to just use the term countless, or just 100 billion, or universal plus, that would be very logical. Then we can also consider that, the heaven and hell are different realms that are the same size as the universe based on writer and author's inference or intent, and that the Kaioshin realm being 1/10 of this orbits that. And so, yeah, that gives you guys a rough size. So again, it's still a 3.3 universe size and scaling. At least that's how we will scale it. I mean, you could just say it's just infinite each one. But I mean, that will cause a lot of hate in the community. We don't want that. We don't want infinite, right? But anyway, so again, we're not talking about what Goku and Beerus were able to destroy or anything like that. We already know he's universal. I mean, people who think he's not at this point are just kidding themselves. or they may just be your series or media only restricted. And when I say media only, they're the type of people who says Cell can't destroy the solar system because he didn't do it, but the plot didn't call for him. I don't care. I don't believe it until I see it. So we have those type of people, and then we have the same thing in regards to the other ones. Okay, but now we're going to focus on the other aspects. Like, all right, so now let's talk a little bit about comparing universes and verses and stuff. Have you heard before when people used to say silly stuff like, well, the fifth dimensional imp is one 5D and two can destroy millions of universes and stuff. All right, now I'm not going to be comparing the Omni King per se directly, but I will tell you this. Look, guys, Zeno destroyed. Now that we understand that, we have the world of void and we have the rest of these, if Zeno destroyed the world of void with it, that means he destroyed the parallel universe, like the parallel world, all the history that belongs to that world. Because this history and Trunks' timeline is a separate historical, like the threads of history are completely separate. So there's your 4D that was destroyed. Okay. And now we have the world that has no time, no space. Now, let me just tell you guys this. By having no time and space, that means it's there and it isn't there, meaning it's more of a concept. So Zeno if he did destroy it, he destroyed a concept, which would put him way beyond multiversal. That's beyond multiversal, hyperversal, or any versal you want to say, because you're destroying the concept of infinite and nothingness, which would require you to inflate infinite or above infinite amounts of energy enough to the point where it contradicts the law of space and time, because otherwise your energy wouldn't even be able to be sensed or felt there. Plus, he destroyed Zamasu, who by law of reality or by law of structure is immortal. Like, nothing you do will destroy him. He's immortal. But Zeno just destroyed an immortal being, meaning the law of immortality is, nullified by his raw power. So now that we understand this, guys, now we're going to the next segment, which is, okay, he's at least 5D. This is not highball. This is taking what is there verbatim and scaling it and calculating it based on real world context. Now, of course, we're only using some real world mathematics because, of course, string mechanics in the DC, Marvel, Dragon Ball, Toriko, or any other verse are completely different. Like, string mechanics in the Archieverse are different. There's millions of different zones / alternate realities that are separate, and there's a zone called the Chaos Force, which if entered is a higher level of existence where you can basically use it as an amplifier. But in Dragon Ball, none of that is there. And even other things like higher dimensional beings, or not higher dimensional, but higher beings in jurisdiction like Enma, if you're dead, Enma has control over you and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You're judged and you're judged. Goodbye. You can't do anything else after that. That's life. But anyway, be that as it may, that's just how Dragon Ball works. I mean, even Frieza, being who can compare to Goku, a universal level being, can't even escape from hell. And in regard to that just goes to show you that death, there is, like if I had Goku versus Flash, Goku can't escape, for death because, Flash escaped death, but like if Flash is in the Dragon Ball verse, death is absolute. Death is a higher priority. You can't just escape it. And that's what I mean by different universes, different laws, different string mechanics. Okay, now, and I'm just going to finish this last part up real quick. To say that, like, being a fourth dimensional being is like infinite 3D and any of that stuff, like, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. That's actually a misconception throughout the fan base and communities. A lot of people like to say, oh, he's 4D, so he's infinite 3D. That's not true at all, guys. A lot of people will tell you it is, but it's not. Like, I can be 4D, but that just means I'm in the essence of time and existing in that pole. The string level of my perspective is different from yours. I can see 3D from a different perspective than you can because where you're at. Am I on a higher level of existence? Make do with that on how you will, because even as third dimensional beings, we don't see things in 2D per se, unless, replicated through a type of video game simulation or simulated through a different media. But we can't actually see two-dimensional objects because paper is still 3D. It still has a width, length, and so on and so forth. Molecules, atoms, quantum, even on quantum levels, they're still three-dimensional existence. So what makes these up could be 2D, but we don't actually have confirmation of that in some of our scientific studies and theorems. So that's when you stop going too deep into like dimensional beings and stuff, and you more so just compare feats and concepts. Now, forgive me, I'm making a bold statement here, and I don't want this video being much longer, but this may be a bold statement, but I'll tell you this, guys. My personal based on the context of what Zeno was able to do, what he was capable of, I personally believe Zeno is the golden tribunal of the Dragon Ball verse. And what I mean by that is, I'm not comparing him to him in strength, but I believe in terms of relativity, he is definitely around that level, like where he's a much higher level being. Because remember, all strings, meaning the first dimension, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, however many there are, Zeno destroyed in Trunks' timeline. Because these strings aren't connected to the string of this parallel reality, unless you're going by a different quantum theory or string theory. But based on what we know, Zeno did destroy all that there was. So to say that he's not on a higher level dimensional being is fallacious. And again, he sees things in the perspective of the third dimension, but that doesn't mean he's limited to not destroying the fourth or fifth dimension, as he showed with these two worlds right here. So I hope that made a little bit more sense, and the reason I compare him to Golden Tribunal is because we do got confirmation Toribot is a canon character of the series, and Toribot can change dialect and dialogue of the series. Like, he can literally influence his characters. He is omnipotent. He is the one above all for this series. And although Zeno is given jurisdiction to govern a smaller universe quadrant than most other animes, than most other medias in like DC and Marvel, it still doesn't pin his strength at a certain level. He's not only 12 or 18 times universal. He's a lot higher than that. And people who say he isn't is kidding themselves. I mean, if he destroyed the world of Void, that means he destroyed a concept, which would definitely put him around beings like these guys. Okay? So now, I'm not going to go any further. I mean, there's going to be a lot of flaming in the comment section, but I don't really care. I mean, I'm just going by what I know and a quick analysis. I'm not going to go big in quantum mechanics or string mechanics or anything like that. It's just fiction. Just accept it for how it is, guys. At least I'm not pulling a no limits fallacy and saying, well, he can kill anyone, so period. Because he kind of can by implication, but I'm not going to go that far. But thank you guys for watching. I hope this kind of explained a little bit more to you guys in regards to the DBZ verse, how it works, the parallel realities, and the stupid thing, oh, he's fourth dimensional. Like, get out of here with that. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, Hit isn't infinite times universal, but he can mess with the time zone or the string of time. In fact, he's not even in the string of time. The 4D he's with is not even part of the history. So that means he's creating his own string, or his own dimension. He's his own dimensional type of being, and Goku still shattered it. Come on, guys, get a grip. But anyway, that has been my video for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Give a like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? That's fine. If you disagree, just respectfully disagree. It's all anime here. It's all speculation, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, until Toriyama straight up gives us some numbers, we can only scale logically, and of course the logical scaling, will be superior over the illogical scaling. But that's just my intake on how I view the series and how I view some of the characters. But thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Atari out.